shot away. Oh. It's another super goal.
Welcome back, everybody, pitchside. England have won this one 22 points to 6. There's a little bit of an arm wrestle at the start, but England ran away with it in the end.
Champions, the London Monarchs. Winners of 2018.
Well done, boys. Let's give it up. Go on, lad. Welcome to the glorious sunshine of the LDN 7s, where we have got wall-to-wall rugby and one hell of a party coming at you all weekend.
The whole vibe here has changed from last year. It's got more of a massive festival theme now as well. Bigger, better, and rugby's really good as well.
So burgers, beers, goodbyes, plenty of top rugby, so get yourself down here to the LDN 7s 2019.
I tell you what, drinking pints and winning a tournament, what more could you want? Like pints, rugby winning, and just taking the people to the cleaners. I love it. Puts a shot away. Oh. It's another super goal.
Welcome back, everybody, pitchside. England have won this one 22 points to 6. There's a little bit of an arm wrestle at the start, but England ran away with it in the end.
live stream here from Harrow School. Harrow against Trinity in the Cup quarter-final of the schools competition at under 15 level. We have the rather illustrious surroundings as a backdrop. Harrow School in the background, complete with 2 spires, an observatory and a library as well, and then the sweeping vista down towards this glorious pitch. It's a perfect setting really for some afternoon rugby. It's the hockey and football seasons for both these schools respectively, so rugby is at a little bit of a premium here, and both schools have had to rearrange matters across this week and the last couple of weeks in order to be ready for this quarter-final. Well, to talk us through today and to have us expert thoughts along with us, I have Angus Savage from 15 Rugby alongside me, and we'll be running through the teams first of all, taking a look at who we have starting for each team. Starting with Harrow, a school which has produced so many England internationals in recent years, none more famous than Mara Itoje and Billy Vunipola. Here is the under 15 level in 2020. Captained by Cameron Ellis, very proficient cricketer actually as well at number 12. He's got the duties with the T2. Across the back line, Gabriel Black, Kit Key, Tito Aduja, and there's Ellis in 12, and then Ollie Mile, Finn Smith and Walid Nsuli. And in the pack, Matthew Gaffney, Kepu Tuipulotu, Tiernan O'Brien, Toby Ferniehow, Barmia Aramoka, Arno DeRoy, Connor O'Flaherty and Danny Neal. And then the substitutes, Baba Obutoyimbo, younger brother of England international at age grade level as well, Sam Harrison, and then Charlie Griffin, and they are coached by Richard Finch. And the visitors here to Harrow School today, Trinity from Croydon. And here is how their 15 and 3 substitutes line up. Captained by Ollie Bailey in the outside centre channel. And their backline sees Drew Gormley paired with Finn Kennedy. Zach McCulloch and Aaron Fakorady are on the wings. Sam Medcraft paired with the captain Bailey in the centres, and then Josh Bellamy at fullback. In the pack, Kane Fleary, Edward Brown, George Lawrence Green. Nathan Fakorady, the twin brother of Aaron, in the backs, is in the row, and then Henry Molyneux, a Crystal Palace Academy goalkeeper, no less, is the second row, and then Alex Tagg, William Pert Smith and Roma Matabalavu make up the back row. Downley Chilvers, Ollie Butler and Max Farrell are waiting in the wings on the substitutes bench, and they're coached by Grant Beresford Miller. Here come Trinity onto the pitch. Only arrived about an hour or so before kick-off, so not had all that much time to adjust to proceedings here. And Angus Savage alongside me, editor of 15 Rugby. Angus, you follow schools rugby across under 15s, under 18s level so much of the season. It's really exciting to see Trinity competing against a school such as Harrow as well, and these two not on the same circuit but meeting here in the Schools Cup.
Yeah, really exciting. Two big schools that certainly have a lot of opponents in common but don't necessarily always play each other all that often. Really exciting game. Harrow, it was pointed out to me earlier on, they won Rossend Park Sevens under 14s last year, so we know that they've got something about them. But this Trinity side, they've had some smashing results the whole way through and have definitely had a really tough route on the way, so really excited to see them.
Yeah, Trinity's routes, it's included the likes of Dulwich, they've beaten Whitgift, Riddlesdown Collegiate College as well, and the Judd in the last round, the last 16. For Harrow, who we see on our screens now just preparing themselves, it hasn't been as many bigger names you might think, but then when you look at Wimbledon College as well in the last 16, that's never an easy game, and they came through that 24-12. Berkhamsted before that, St Cecilia's, Campion. How often do we talk about an away game in Campion being tricky? And they absolutely hammered them 68-7. And I should say, not entirely sure if that was away at Campion, but in any regards, on their travels too. And then Mill Hill and Belmont as well in their first round. They haven't been tested, it seems, as much as Trinity, but they have still come through that last round, particularly against Wimbledon College.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that was a really tough game. We had someone watching that game for us, and it was a really close game. Could have actually gone either way, but Harrow showing their sort of clinical edge, they performed really well there, and I think they're an exciting side to watch.
So Trinity lining up in the blue jerseys, and then Harrow on the left of our screens playing in the blue and white. Our referee today, Matthew Todd, on site extra early today, he told me. Really excited about this one. So he's officiating in the middle. And Trinity kick us off. It's a bigger pitch actually than most of these boys will be used to. Both masters in charge, coaches-wise, Richard Finch and also Grant Beresford Miller were saying that. It can lead sometimes to a more exciting game potentially, but also there's a need to really stay focused to the task and not almost get lost out on a big pitch like that, as sort of silly as that might sound.
Yeah, definitely. The Harrow's last 16 game was on the smaller artificial surface, and that made a real difference. It was a really, really tight game, really close in. So this bigger pitch could be really interesting, and Trinity certainly looking like they want to try and use it.
Well, turnover at the line-outs.
Stay there, guys, stay.
William Pert-Smith involved, the number 7 for Trinity. Strong carry from the open side. And now this is Nathan Fakarady, as part of Saracens Academy, and one of 2 brothers in Trinity starting 15 today, so a big day for the Fakarady family. Lovely break here. Trinity opening things up early at Harrow School. Just caught 3 metres short. Gormley gets the forwards back onto it and just dropping the ball, and it's going to go backwards, so play on. Pert-Smith was lurking again. An injury over on the far side for Trinity, but they play on over on the right-hand wing. Fakarady on the wing. He's going to go in from here, is he? Brilliant beginning this from Trinity.
On the line, guys,
well, no fear whatsoever.
On the line.
Coming to Harrow School.
4, no!
They're playing like it's their own patch. The Croydon School, and they're just a metre short from the first try. Serious injury over on the left-hand side out of our screen here. And Trinity will take it quickly, though. Great tackling from Harrow.
No hands!
Trinity so close over the line.
Wait. No, wait.
And Matthew Todd awards the penalty.
No hands, listening, thank you.
The feet from Bellamy on that break, just rounded his outside man and puts his winger away. Fantastic stuff out wide. Looks like the kick return is going to be pretty special stuff today.
Well, Josh Bellamy, one of the contingent in the Quins Academy, or Trinity School. Thunderous beginning. Firstly by Pert-Smith, just bringing some physicality around the forwards, and then that man there, picking into touch. Just how close they got.
Oh, come on.
Harrow with some strong defending on the line.
I can't quite make out who that was on the floor, but he's given away the penalty, but that is a fantastic decision. He's got his hands on the ball and is not letting go of that for love nor money.
So Trinity through Molyneux. Towers in the line out, and they shump forward, so close over the line now. Trinity just need to get it down. The first try will go to Trinity. And they haven't taken long to get warm. They've shocked the hosts, 5-0.
How about that for a start from Trinity? Brilliant stuff. They've got attacking deep on the left-hand side and then rounding down from the fullback on the edge, and then it's just punch, and cross over. Brilliant work from them early on.
It was Molyneux who took it down, Henry Molyneux. And tied in, we'll just get a chance to see who may have got it down.
Have you got me, guys?
One amongst the forwards, right at the heart.
That really is brilliant ball work as well. It's not easy at under 15 level to get that together. You've got an unopposed line out, but that actually means in terms of more defence, you've got an entire pack sat waiting for you, ready to go. And this Harrow pack is big. We can see a couple of boys out there that are outsizing their opponents massively, but Trinity just get in position and just power over. Brilliant play.
Well, Josh Melleby hasn't managed to convert the kick, so 5-0. And we are awarding the try to Alex Tagg. Some sharp eyes from our team in the truck. Get a chance to see the draw, which this match is here at Harrow School. It is
Have you got me now, guys?
house football on today.
Reece?
So that's where the rest of the school will be. They may well be filtering here to offer some support later on. Kick-off for Harrow. We're going to be pulled back whilst our referee, Matthew Todd, seems to be just fixing his shorts. I'm not sure entirely what that's about. Nothing to do with Harrow, I don't think.
No, mine's just come on.
So Cameron Ellis is kicking off for Harrow. Matthew Todd's shorts
Time on, guys.
are fixed.
Good to see.
So Ellis goes deep. Bellamy picking it up. Well, it's a kind of mature play from Josh Bellamy, from both actually. Ellis kicking deep and clearance too.
Very, very mature. On first sort of opening 5 minutes of sightings, if I'm Harrow, I'm keeping the ball well away from Bellamy. Looks as though he's got a smart head on him there. That's good distance on the clearance as well, but we've seen when he gets a chance to counter-attack, he can go as well. He's looking like a real threat early on.
Tuipulotu finds his man, and Harrow looks at get a rumble on themselves. And Trinity turn it around. Well, it is 2 up now to the Trinity pack over Harrow in these early exchanges.
Well, once again, and that's just really clever work. There's just a man getting his arms around the ball nice and early, and just knows that he's in control. It's really smart, grown-up play. That's, you know, you'd be happy with that in an under-18s game, let alone an under-15s.
18, please.
Trinity's coach was saying beforehand how they reach under 15 at Trinity. They like to bring a little more maturity to the game plan. It's a lot of skills-based work and just enjoying rugby before this point, but a little bit of pragmatism comes in now, and we're going to see a set play as well. Trinity opening things up. Here's Bellamy. Back in space. He has Fakarady again, but that is a super step. Now the left-hand wing, McCulloch is there. Opening through the middle. Trinity looking to pounce for the second time. Big line taken. Kane Fleary. What a bust from the open side. From the loose head prop, I should say. Running like an open side. Opportunity here, flung out wide, and McCulloch is reaching and scoring. Zach McCulloch goes over in the corner. Trinity have 2 in 3 minutes.
Oh, that is ridiculously good rugby. Ridiculously good. Kennedy's pass out from McCulloch. Beautiful pass. Missed 2, absolutely flat across the line. We'd be happy with that in the Six Nations. But you've got the break from Bellamy on the outside from a clever little backs move, and then the powering over from the loose head, and then this is just a wonderful pass coming up.
How long's left? We played 5 minutes.
Look at that, 3 defenders taken out of the game in 1 pass, and then it's a lovely finish there from McCulloch just to get over.
It's not overstating it to say that is high quality rugby at under 15s level.
Well, that's high quality at any level. I mean, that's... Yes. They've started on their own 10-metre line and worked through what is basically a professional-looking backs move to get the ball out into space around the outside of the onrushing defence. Bellamy's away in space. They then keep the ball alive, send a big forward through just to keep the defence on the back foot as they scramble back, and then it's just brilliant passing from Kennedy and a tidy finish in the corner.
And Bellamy from the touchline doesn't quite have the legs. Correct that. He does. Thought it was dropping short. Had just enough juice on it.
This is a very, very special start from Trinity. They've got to be delighted with this. Harrow almost a bit shell-shocked, but I don't think there's a lot they can do about what's happened so far.
There haven't been many Harrow errors. You might be able to point out a bit of shape in defence, but it's McCulloch, Bellamy and Fakarady who have just been tearing up Harrow's first team pitch here, and so too this man, Pert Smith, who laid down, served warning early on from the back of the line out with his carry. There's Molyneux.
Stay on your feet, White!
There is a contingent of 6 players who are involved in Harlequins Academy playing in Trinity's team today. A couple of Saracens, 2. That's the kind of response which Harrow want. Stepped offside in the process.
It's not the most exciting point to make, but the noise coming from the Trinity backline in particular, but right across the team in both attack and defence is absolutely huge, and you can see it in the way that they're reorganising with every phase and getting players into position. It's just constant noise from every single player. It's unbelievably mature stuff.
He did. Yeah.
Turby,
I think we're all good at the moment.
Toby Fernyhow trying to make his mark on Trinity's number 9, Drew Gormley. Molyneux again. He'll look to tie things up given how
Thank you.
things went last
Balls
time.
out.
Trinity
Into your own
taking a
players, guys.
try from their last jump forward, but just losing control.
That's what Harrow needed, just something to go their way in the next couple of minutes, and
Just
they've got it
that
there.
on the first one, guys.
They can get a bit of a platform off this scrum, maybe get a bit of territory, and they've not really had any balls. If they can just get a bit of go forward momentum, it could serve them well.
Now I've got to make your mark quickly at under 15 level. It's a reminder that it's half an hour each way at this age grade.
Set.
So 1/3 of
Stay where you are,
first half
please. 9.
conducted in Trinity. 12 points up here. There's been some free-flowing rugby from the visitors. If you're just joining our coverage here, and maybe a little bit more here. McCulloch is putting it on the toe and racing ahead. The left wing leading the charge. He's just got to place it. Harrow get back, and McCulloch maybe.
Hold up, guys.
Well, this is thrilling rugby that we're seeing at Harrow School.
Let's go.
And Harrow playing their part in that. I mean, a mistake to lead to that moment for Trinity, but it's great defending. Ellis just trying to work the offer, trying to find a bit of magic, the captain and inside centre. How about this for a foot race?
Well, look at that from McCulloch. He doesn't even think about it. Just catch ball, kick it, knows where the space is. Clever bit of play here in defence though. Gets himself under the ball and the man to make sure that nothing can happen to release that.
Inviting position, and they go away to the left. Bellamy is there. Gormley in the end took it himself, the scrum half. Trinity knocking on the door again. Number 8, Roma Matabalavu.
No hands, white one, release, good luck.
Pert Smith is sealing things off for Trinity. Gormley digs for it.
Use it now, blue.
To the back for Gormley, but it's going to go to Kane Fleary. Fleary has got his teammates' arms in the air. Shaking the head from the referee. Flopping over the line.
Penalty here, double movement, guys. Gone to
Penalty
ground,
Harrow.
again.
Or something for Harrow School
Gone
to get
ground,
round.
Five. Gone to ground.
That's
and then
really,
moved
really
again.
tidy defence on the line from them there. That's 2, 3, 4 phases in a row that they've had to get low, had to block the pathway to the line, but they've found a way to do it, and eventually a bit of frustration from Trinity gives away the penalty. Really, really good defence from Harrow, and that should give them a big lift.
So often
Time off,
at this
guys.
level, Angus, at schoolboy level, we talk about
Just have a look at your
players
skippers
having
here,
to
please, bleeding.
problem solve on the go if they can, rather than from the instructions of their coaches. That's
Cameron?
the way the coaches
Cameron,
would
look in your
like
ear,
things to
please.
be. Harrow are really having to solve some
Blood coming
problems.
out your ear,
Yeah,
please.
massively. But we've seen it there that they've got their head around that one, and
Time's
actually
off,
for
guys,
the
time's
second
off.
try, although it's some wonderful play from Trinity, the way that they've scrambled back to at least force Trinity into playing those extra couple of phases, the defence is there. They've just got to hold on, keep plugging away. They'll get a couple of chances.
Thank you, sir. Time on.
Excellent line out. Tupolotu finding his man, and now Harrow go to work. This is a school who have yet to lose a game as an age group, all through under 14s and under 15s. And I'm not used to being in this position, and Harrow are going to find something about themselves in the rest of this game, whatever happens. They also won the Roslyn Park School Sevens as under 14s. We should mention that. That is, well, an extremely hard thing to do. Here's one of their key players, Ellis.
New penalty.
Another strong run. Harrow starting to bare their teeth. Here goes Ellis, ships it on. Lovely out the back pass. Space for the first time. Speed as well. Trinity trying to get numbers back, but it's Finn Smith who eventually numbers catch up with him. Far more shape now to Harrow's game.
Out of the way.
Gabriel Black at number 9. Trinity perhaps pushing the offside a bit, but
No hands.
Matthew Todd is okay with it. That's a very good tackle. Here goes Ellis, trying to conjure something himself.
No hands.
Big clear-outs coming in. Harrow have really got to grips with Trinity at ruck time, and they've got a penalty.
That's exactly what Harrow needed, isn't it? Just stepping on the gas a little bit, getting through a few phases, and suddenly they find themselves on the front foot, able to get around the outside, and suddenly they've got themselves a penalty chance and a way back into this game nice and early on.
Yeah, I've got the problem with you high tackles at the moment, but I will have a
Matthew
look.
Todd just having a word there with Ollie Bailey.
Just off feet, guys.
Amidst all of that, there was the type of rucking which you used to see when the Springboks used to welcome tourist sides in the 90s. It was ferocious.
Horizontal body positions for sure.
I get a chance to see it here. There we go.
Blue, please.
Flying through the middle, and well, for my money, legally so, and also for referee Matthew Todd. Stayed on his feet, came right through the middle.
Yeah, he's just smashed him out the way, really. It's seriously top-level clear-out.
And now Harrow knit together. Trinity marched themselves over the line for the first try of the game. They've repelled that
It's just gone down, guys.
really well.
Blue.
Trinity have done superbly. Well, this match, Angus Savage, it's as good a beginning to a schoolboy game of rugby as I've seen.
It really is. You can see what it means to these boys as well. With every decision, there's huge celebration from each side. Just they know that this is a big game, and this is a chance. They both know their records. This is a chance of going very, very deep in this competition. We're looking at a real push at a place at Twickenham here.
Time off, guys.
On this side of the draw, those competing for the semi-finals consist of Ivy Bridge and Wellington College. Now, whoever wins this match will have to travel to either one of those schools' grounds. Wellington College or Ivy Bridge, tough places to go.
Yeah, you've either got a big trip down to the southwest or a trip round the corner to Wellington.
No,
Playing as we
leave
speak,
it 10.
incidentally.
Leave it 16, thank
Made up by
you. Good
Teaford.
work.
Relish that challenge, and Harrow, that's super work on the floor in the tackle. I think that was Tuipulotu.
Just gone forward, guys.
I won't be surprised to hear that he's related to the Vunipolas, who have come through this part of London in their schooling. Billy and Mako, school down at Millfield, of course, so not quite all three Vunipolas, but this is type of physicality which Tuipulotu has brought, and that is just impossible to stop.
Crouch.
It's just an absolute abundance of power over the opponent there.
Set.
Looking to pour on more power, but it's Trinity. So Bailey having to work something from here to get his team out of trouble. Actually, he's done well.
Leave it 16. 16, don't pull him through. Use it, Blue.
All the way back to Bellamy. Bellamy's going to be hit hard, gets over the try line.
I don't know how he's done that. That's very well played.
That's not going to go far, but at least it has eked a couple of metres out for Trinity. Harrow now with a great position. The way their line-out's functioning, they could be looking to zip this into Cameron Ellis in the centre, or tie it up and go for a rumble. We should say that the, excuse me, Angus, I should say that the surroundings that we have here, we've got a rainbow in the background. I don't know if you can see that on our screens, but one rainbow there, and if you go a little further around the corner, you'll see the Wembley Arch. So we have perfect scenery for this encounter. That's
Not straight, guys.
not straight. Sorry, Angus, I wanted to talk about rainbows.
Why not? Wouldn't be Britain if we weren't having at least some weather chat, would it?
Just here, guys,
Exactly,
on
we've
the
had lots to
15.
talk about in that regard over the last week, let's say that. Let's have a look here though, Tuipulotu. Well, even from here we can see that was fading over to the left.
Always tricky in an unopposed line-out. The necessity for it to be straight is in the laws, but seems somewhat irrelevant at times.
Bind. Set.
With a feed from Gormley. And now Trinity pull it away. Running into the 10 channel there.
Tackle. Tackle the
Big
move.
carry, I think coming from
No, stay well done,
Balavu.
16.
It's going to bounce awkwardly. Tito Edua having to trace that back.
Thank you, just where you are.
It was a horrible old connection, but actually the bounce of the ball, as we always say, can do anything, and it's actually turned out pretty well there as a clearance kick.
Numbers.
And from our pitch-side position, there may be a running track in between us, but what we're hearing is just so much
Trinity,
communication from both teams, sort of on a level of professionalism. To have that level of boys talking to each other, really engaged game from both sets of players. Ellis with the delayed feed that time. And he watched him carefully. Now he takes a short ball, getting through a lot of work.
Offside.
The inside centre. Advantage with Harrow. And it's Black who
15 blue.
has a little box kick.
Offside.
Come back. For offside against Trinity.
On the touch, judge, please.
So you can see just one of the drop downs in the top left-hand corner. Guardian Pro mouth guards. We can't bring as many of these streams as we do to life without some of the support that we've had. So if you ever need a new mouth guard, Guardian Pro, they're your guys. If you've got a good set of teeth or you've got any teeth at all, they're important, and we implore you to look after them. That is a superb kick deep into the Trinity 22.
Use the line, please, guys. Use the 5,
Feels
guys,
like
please.
a big moment, that. Line out in the corner, get the drive on. If they can score now, 8 or 9 minutes before half time, that could be a crucial score if Harrow can get there.
The wind really has dropped, and Tuipulotu has nothing to work against in that regard. Trinity are going to stay down. Gets it off the top, but just dropped on and kicked through. Ellis is there. Ellis is scoring.
Guys, scrum.
It's going to be called back.
Shades of Hugh Jones 2018 against England there. Ball bobbling around, and suddenly a boot comes through, but sadly this time a knock-on somewhere in there.
Tuipulotu with the throw. The first part was good. The jump was there from Conor O'Flaherty, and then just a little bit asking too much of his next runner.
Crouch. Bind.
Trinity's scrum has impressed Angus, and they have, particularly on Harrow's ball.
Remember what you said,
It really
guys,
has,
about
because they
stability?
are certainly by the eye. They are a smaller pack without any shadow of a doubt, but they've managed to get themselves on the front foot in every scrum so far. Looking really good. They seem to be on the tight head side. They just got a nudge on the last couple and just managed to get fast ball. It's impressive stuff.
Gormley has his pack going backwards there. The quality of the coaching teams put together by both these schools is mightily impressive. James Melville, Director of Rugby here at Harrow, and Richard Finch, head coach of this team. And when you look on Trinity's side as well, you've got Director of Rugby Ian Kench, former Isha player, so coaching with Richmond these days.
Set.
Real mind around the school's game.
Better, guys, thank you.
I'll be enjoying this beginning
Tackle,
from
roll.
those in the light blue shirts.
Change.
Good exit. The base of
Use
the
it,
scrum.
blue. Use it.
And we've seen the caterpillar executed very well. Not something that in the professional game is all that welcome, actually, but to see it done like that, you've got to have a nod to the efficiency there from Trinity.
Well, they say that what happens in the professional game doesn't filter down, eh?
So much of this game to admire that you see in the professional ranks, and
be gentle.
that one perhaps not so much. A tip tackle, but sensibly handled, I think, by Matthew Todd. It was over the horizontal. Wasn't dropped down. It was felt at all times in safe hands, despite going beyond that degree. So Ellis puts Harrow again into the 22.
Come on, this is how hard you work now. You guys, please here.
A super chance. Well, Delalia Rugby Works are another one of the people who we work with, who sponsor us and help us put these streams on. We've got one of their boys, Samir, here doing the camera work. So delighted with association we have with them. Wonderful charity that is too. Here come Harrow. And Trinity are now going to have to try and stop this any way they can. There's Tuipulotu. Harrow get the penalty.
5 in the side. Just here.
Ellis wants to go quickly and he goes himself. He's over the line. It's a captain's score from Harrow. He has got them back in it.
Gents, away, please.
That is a captain seizing the game by the scruff of the neck right there, isn't it? Quick tap and power over. You could just feel that, couldn't you? You could hear it in the crowd. You could see it in the way that Harrow was starting to get their body language going. They were up for it in the last 5-10 minutes, pumping the ball into the corner and then just absolutely blasting away. And then Ellis just a bit of captaincy there, isn't it?
Goes that game, Reece? Here it comes.
This is my game. I'm going over.
He's gone through one of the props and the number 8, the inside centre. He has taken
good, thank you.
Harrow's play by the scruff of the neck, you could say, since they went 12 points down. He's popping up at 1 out runner, also deployed in the centres, then at 10 as well.
He's a big guy. He'd look perfectly at home in the forward pack as well, so no surprise to see him taking on that close range tap.
Nope.
So the conversion after doesn't go through. 12 points to 5.
6.5, guys.
Cameron
6.5.
Ellis. So the rain starting to lash down now here at Harrow School. Won't affect the pitch too much because it's a wonderful pitch. It really is, but the slipperiness of the ball.
Yeah. I was aware of the last one.
So you talking about the rainbow that's done that?
From coming forward, we're an offside, okay?
Yeah, there's always a payback, isn't there? For going off script. So another element to add into proceedings for both sets of players. 4 minutes left to half-time in this under-15s quarter-finals of the Schools Cup. Twickenham awaits if they can get to the final.
And release!
That is the final which is taking place in March, and both schools are playing like it's a final. Ellis is going to another level.
Move!
Solo
let it
run.
Come, guys. Blue, let it come! Blue, let it come! Good lad!
And instinctively, there's a change of tactic, isn't there?
Let it come,
Far
guys!
more
Let it come! Blue, let it come!
safer play now going on from Harrow. Ellis again in the same position. It's a little bit like, we're not at that levels yet, but how England had to adapt at Murrayfield. Lovely break from Harrow. Now they have a chance attacking the disorganised defence. It comes back on Trinity's side.
Kicking through, guys. Barge is blue.
Just about, still with Trinity.
4, kicking through.
They have a penalty. That was a wonderful break through the middle. I think you're going to put it down as Danny Neal, potentially, the number 8 for Harrow. But the penalty actually given for kicking through. Stayed in. Chance for Harrow here. Snaking run from the fullback.
Knock on!
Ellis shapes to go one way and then drives hard. The conditions, as you can now see, are starting to really add up. Not easy to play rugby.
Just knock on, guys.
Not much wind at least, but
Blue.
he's lashing it down here at Harrow School.
Well, it's got a bit scrappy because of the weather, but what has also happened is that the crowd has started to pick up. I guess some of those house matches have finished up, and there's more pupils on the touchline. And you can see Harrow are responding to that. They're starting to carry hard and direct. They're really feeling the energy, and there's probably some older boys down there they're a bit inspired by, so they want to prove a point that, hey, we can mess around on this big pitch as well. You can see it, you can feel it. There's a change in atmosphere.
Push, blue.
So free kick. And really, the volume on the sidelines
Blue, early push.
going up
Warmed
several
up there.
decibels.
Free kick, it's a free kick. It's a free kick.
I mean, it is not easy to play any form of rugby in this. So Ellis keeps it in hand. Big run again. Oof.
Tackle and move, no hands, move.
Danny
mate.
Neal.
Good work.
I mean, that was as hard and as direct as it gets. Lovely hands out of the tackle. This is excellent from Harrow in the wet. Black sensibly puts it in behind. Bellamy is trying to go back. Ellis is hunting. Bellamy, lovely step from the fullback. Even looks to offload to McCulloch. We are going to come back.
Well, he's a live wire. He's a real live wire. Really, really impressive from Harrow, though, isn't it? It's almost as if the weather comes in and they've gone, these are our conditions, we know what we're doing here.
Please.
They're just starting to play cleverly, just crash it short, and then when they get the advantage, let's just stick the ball in the air and see what happens. Something could happen.
I think it was 50, I'm not quite
Reason why we're coming back.
But there's too many.
Just for reference, high tackle from Trinity, and Bailey is just getting told that by a referee.
Let's go, guys, please. Sorry, mate. There's your mark,
Yeah, the turnaround by Harrow. They're still, of course, trailing by 7, but it has been all Harrow since those early exchanges.
1.5.
That is the kick of a man who has definitely trained on this pitch in these conditions before.
Yes.
That was a low skidder, deliberately done to keep it well away from the wind. Because you've got to remember here at Harrow, we're sat on the top of a hill. The wind comes absolutely flying through on this pitch.
It's actually a pitch which was the former parade ground of CCF more than 20 years ago at Harrow School. The first team pitch ever since 2001, and fantastic ground staff that have kept this place in shape. It is immaculate. Gathered in well.
It's okay, backwards.
No knock on, crucially for Harrow. They can build to the next phase. Black shipped along the line. Ellis now.
Tackle and release.
I think the Trinity defence saw that one coming.
No, it's all good. He's let him come.
Got men in the way. It's all about all you can do when Cameron Ellis is running at you. Big defence from Trinity. They pick off the next phase runner, and Pert Smith.
Still scrum advantage.
This wily redhead number 7. He's been a strong carrier for Trinity, foraging around the Caterpillar again. Gives Trinity that extra time.
Good chase, great chase.
Super speed on the outside to try and create some space by Walid and Suni. And this is Tito Ajua. That's a precious little ball, Ajua. We're going through 4 seasons in one half at the moment because the sun is rearing its head. There's no rain left anymore in the clouds.
Good work,
Harrow perhaps look to play a little bit more expansively. They do. Ellis is in space, and the roar goes up from the crowd. Well, we have been treated to a first half of extraordinary quality by these two teams. It's Trinity at half-time who lead 12 points to 5, 3 tries, and Harrow on their own patch have dominated for the second half of that half. They may stay out there on the pitch, but Angus Savage, let's pick our way through that first half, starting with Trinity and that amazing beginning.
Oh, it was an absolutely flying start, wasn't it? They came absolutely storming out the traps and played some unbelievably attractive and fast rugby that Harrow just couldn't really live with. They were on the counter-attack, they were coming in waves, and then the first try, it was a power move in the corner, but actually it all was built off the back of some fast backs play on the left-hand side, and then a bit of a counter from Bellamy. And then the second try is just, you'd be happy with that in professional rugby. That was just searing counter-attack, one clinical ruck and play, and then just a wonderful, wonderful pass from Kennedy.
Well, let's have a quick look back at some of the highlights from that first half. And
so if they can push round, got no
issues. Enjoy them again.
But if they're physically pulling out, I have an issue.
Yeah, you look here, that's just seriously good maul play against a pack that is much, much bigger than them. But look at the flat backs of every single one of those Trinity players, just absolutely in perfect body positions. And then all you have to do is flop from there. It's a really well executed bit of mauling.
Yeah, Alex Tagg with the aforementioned flop. That was a super beginning. How about this as well?
Look at this, just big carry, get on the front foot, and then this is all about the pass from Kennedy, the fly half. It's just a wonderful, wonderful pass. Cuts out 3 defenders.
Pick up from McCulloch and the fen to place, and also didn't panic, did he? Didn't look for the offload.
It's a lovely bit of finishing just to get himself over, and Yeah, because he has got to pick that up off his toes, and then he's got to beat the man. Almost sometimes that bouncing ball can just give you that front foot because your defender is thinking about the ball as well as the player. Just there. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The brilliant thing about Kennedy's pass, though, is it's not so much that he manages to skip out the 3 defenders. It's one step, and then the ball is released. Yeah, you often see a guy there will try and tread water because he's looking for his option. He knows where his options are as soon as he has the ball, and it's just get the ball, give it, bang.
Cameron Ellis' try, a little bit more direct. That came after phase after phase.
Well, that really was Ellis taking control of the game, and actually for the remainder of the half, it became the Ellis show. He just took over entirely and just wanted to punch holes in the Trinity defence. Really, just every time he had the chance, he was looking for a weak shoulder to run at, and just powering through, trying to get the offload away. Sadly for him, the rain came down almost at the wrong moment for that. He couldn't quite get those offloads to go to hand. At the close of the half there, we had one that actually, if it had been 6 inches lower, 6 inches further forward, perhaps it was try time. But the important thing is that he has decided this game is here for the taking, and I'm going to take it.
It's wonderful to see that sort of captaincy. Whilst we have the opportunity, it's quite a moment. The illustrious surroundings, Angus. Let me give you a little tour of the place, and for any viewers watching who haven't been to Harrow before, wonderful setting, of course, and you can look at the 2 spires up there. The one to the right, that's the St Mary's local church, and just to the left is the school chapel, the green spire. Just to the left of centre, that's the school chapel, and then to the left of that, you can see a red brick building, perhaps. That's the library here at Harrow, and then if you scan all the way across, you may be able to see a little dome just at the back. Well, that's the observatory.
Everyone needs an observatory.
Yes, so this is our observatory. It's not quite as illustrious, not quite as dome-shaped, more scaffolding-shaped, but it's giving us a good view of the day, and plenty of fans now coming down and lending their voice. The background to this match here at Harrow is that this is the football term for the school, so rugby has been in high demand for the rugby players particularly, but not been played much. Neither school, Trinity as well, it's the hockey season for them, so they have just cobbled together 2 training sessions before this. But it does give that rarity to a match, and it captures the imagination. Why the Schools Cup is so historically relevant and such a good judge of a school's quality, because it's such a national competition.
Yeah, absolutely, and in this under-15 competition, it's almost the truest test of all, because you have almost every school in the country really is in it, and the teams that don't enter the under-18s are in this under-15s tournament. Makes for a brilliant competition, and you really do feel as though the team that wins it is definitely the best team in the country.
So the second half underway. Trinity leading Harrow on their patch, 12 points to 5. Harrow, who just joined us in the second half on Cheers Mates. Harrow playing right to left. Trinity in the light blue shirts, trying to work out the path through a jungle of Harrow shirts. So Drew Gormley is going to take things carefully, box kick his way forward. It's an excellent chase indeed. How about that from the fullback? Josh Bellamy has done incredibly well. Trinity have the advantage from a knock-on too. Pert Smith is there winning it back. Well, it's a type of rugby which you love to see at any level. It's all about a little bit of precision from the kick, but a lot of desire.
Oh, I mean, Bellamy is, I don't know if you can make it out on your screens, but Bellamy is a slight man, and he's all about footwork and handling, and he's just gone and driven a man 10 metres backwards in the tackle there. That's stunning stuff from the fullback.
Crouch.
Yeah, he's having a super game, and he's just moved himself to number 10 actually, Bellamy. So he's going to be the first receiver if this scrum holds, and I say if because Harrow on the shunt. Bellamy round the back. He's just dropped it. That's totally our fault, Angus. The commentators curse. Harrow are going to run away with it here. And they lose possession. Sun streaking across the pitch here. And a few nerves at the start of the second half.
Yeah, just not quite going to hand, is it? It was. You could see that that was obviously a pre-planned move to switch the fullback and the fly half there for Trinity, but it just didn't quite execute properly. Looking ahead of phase too many, perhaps, and then Harrow couldn't quite get themselves together for the counter.
As you can see on screen, iSports Analysis do such a good job in terms of raising the level of quality of sport across rugby, football, many different sports, and if you want their help, then do get online and find out about them. Cameron Ellis here, bursting through the middle. Ellis is away. That side-to-side running style, so hard to tackle. And here come Harrow. Neil is offloading, and that's Tui Pelotu who's in support. Hard running from Harrow's forward pack. Black wants the ball, he lets it up to the forwards go. Harrow fans in good voice. This is Obatoyimbo. It's up to the back. Ellis just lofts it out wide, it's hit the deck. Well, was the try line begging there? Difficult to see if Trinity had enough numbers to cover it. Angus, what part of that did you catch?
I'm just wondering if perhaps the angle the sun is coming in is slightly getting the eyes of a couple of the players here as they try and spread the ball wide, because you can just see they're struggling a bit to pick it out. But what you can definitely say is that some of that power running from Harrow is just devastating.
Two straight lines from Danny Neil and then Kepu Tui Pelotu.
It was a big carry down the left-hand side from Tui Pelotu. Done well to bring him down, actually, to be honest.
Gabriel Black allows it to his foot, number 8, Neil, and Neil is just going to power his way over. Danny Neil has served several warnings in this match about his power game.
Celebrate, please, guys.
And he's just steamrollered Trinity's back row.
Well, CJ Stander, Toby Faletau, all the rest. Take a leaf out of this book. That was just brilliant. Just pick up and absolutely fly, and he targets his fly half perfectly here. Gets right on the outside of the back row, straight running, and just powers through. Look at the strength to get over the line through 2 tacklers. That's number 8 player at his finest.
The distance which he created from the base of the scrum to give himself room to work.
Yeah, as soon as he'd got himself on the outside of the back row there was almost no chance to stop him before the line. It's an almost impossible task once that happens, because you need your back row men to be able to get to him early, if nothing else to slow him down.
So we're tied up, 12 points apiece, thanks to Danny Neil's try and the conversion by Cameron Ellis. Quarter-final schools rugby at its very best, and we are in the balance between these two now as the shadows stretch out this afternoon on the backs of Trinity and into the eyes of Harrow.
Thank you.
Just 5 minutes played in this second half. Deep kickoff. Harrow having to play out of the box at the back.
Push, push, push.
Ellis puts his leather through the ball. And we go up to the 22.
We're inside. Amazing.
It's a good response there for Trinity, actually. Just get the kick off deep, get a good chase in, force the kick away, and now they've got an attacking line out on the 22. Very calm, measured response there. It'd been easy to try something a bit silly.
It's nothing more frustrating for a team to have to play out from that right angle in the corner. Exactly what Harrow had to do. They did well, actually, and now trying to pull down Trinity's maul before it gets going.
Use it now, Blue, please, use it!
He may have got the ball there. That's brilliant play.
That's fine.
Not coming back on Drew Gormley's side, it's going to be Harrow's.
Scrum, guys, just knocked on by 4.
But from the scrum, Trinity will have possession. It's a little let off
Just unlucky at the end.
for the Croydon School.
Yeah, for just a moment there, it looked like Harrow got their hands on the ball and they weren't going to release, but Trinity have managed to fight and scrap their way. It's the little scrum half managing to get an arm in just to stop that.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Harrow's scrum is putting Trinity backwards, and then the flankers latch on.
No hands, guys, let it come!
Drew Gormley
Let it come, White!
just eaten. This may cause more trouble, although
Not allowed to play the
maybe a
night.
penalty for trying to put hands in the ruck.
Playing the 9, guys, please.
Well, actually, correction there. Playing the 9 was what Matthew
Shot,
Todd
please, guys.
was telling the players, so it's going to be opportunity at posts.
Well, based on his last couple of kicks, there's no reason why they wouldn't have taken that option. Looked very composed on that touchline conversion early on. We saw him in the warm-up with at least one that was going over, so I'd be backing myself if I was him as well.
Well, he did hit a conversion from a similar distance down the other end in the first half.
Insuli is 15.
Okay, Insuli is at fullback.
At fullback, exactly. And Tito Edua is at 11.
Josh Bellamy to take the lead for Trinity here at Harrow.
Where were the biggest amounts of spaces he kind of swapped over.
Is Cross in the field?
Cross is not playing. He picked up an injury and was late withdrawal, so it's Charlie Griffin who's wearing number 18.
He's done it. What a kick from Josh Bellamy. Silence descending around Harrow School. And Bellamy just kept his cool. Ice in the veins from the young fullback.
Lovely connection, wasn't it? Puts his side into the lead, and still conditions, almost like the start of the first half now. That's when they were at their best, perhaps. Perhaps we're going to see them respond and start to capitalise on that lead now.
So Ellis just works one away. Trinity carry forward. They were only level with Harrow for a few minutes before that penalty was scored. So that is an outstanding kick downfield. The box kicking on display from Trinity College and Drew Gormley in the main. It's been exceptional.
Just another little swing of momentum that just moves the game towards Trinity's way. Lovely, lovely little exit kick.
He didn't play against Brighton. He was injured during the warm-up.
Okay.
He's a very good player.
Is that who they played?
They played Brighton in the last round. Yes, I went to that game.
Whitgift.
Pressure on Kepu Tuipolotu,
Whitgift was a couple
the hooker for Harrow.
Whitgift quite early on.
It's an excellent line-out set from the hosts. Arnaud Duroy claiming it the blindside flanker.
Penalty, 2 in the side.
Harrow playing with an advantage here.
2 in the side.
Trinity in at the side.
Short penalty, Cameron, if you want it.
Crossfield kick. Now this is interesting indeed. Had the advantage, so well, why not? Angus Savage, it could have
Come back
worked.
for the penalty here.
I would have let that play. I don't know if maybe the winger was offside because there was space to play into there. Kick had gone to hand. And that is the thing. Trouble with under 15 level is actually
Same dead leg.
the sheer body size of the players actually means that the pitch is much bigger than it would be at under 18 level, and with the winger dropped deep there is a lot of space. You know, you had probably 20 metres of space just in the wide channel to get the ball to there. That could have been a really exciting bit of play.
Time on, guys. Just wait for them to rearrange. 2 blue in the side.
Batty and both come off, come back on. Yes, so Batty and both started. Oh, sorry, Gaffney.
So Cam Ellis
2
clears
in the
Harrow's
side.
lines.
played from start to, and then he swapped with Gaffney midway through.
Yeah, and a good lineup. DeRoy ties things up. Harrow peel off. And they look to play. Ellis pulls it around the back, and there's space to work here.
It's backwards.
Tumbled around, and Harrow dangerously tantalising offering the ball to Trinity, but they can't quite get their hands on it. Ellis has to exit and gets at least something on it. It was building nicely, just that final pass.
It was, but I think that's the risk that Trinity have to take. I think you have to swarm Ellis if you're in their position. He's both the main ball carrier and main distributor. So you've got to go up and get at him and just go, we trust ourselves to drift if he passes it, because realistically, he's the biggest threat is if he decides to take it on and run himself. So I think from a Trinity perspective they're probably okay with the fact that they were exposed on the outside, because what they've done is put the defenders in the right place. From Harrow's point of view, if they can get Ellis to get the ball through his hands when that swarm comes, they'll have space.
Stan Chilvers throwing in for Trinity here.
Well, I think it's an improvement over what happened before.
Taken down. Body positions again good, but Harrow have worked it back on their side, and Tuipulotu is scampering down this left wing. It's a big step from the hooker. Places the fend on Gormley. Lovely pass over the top. Trinity trying to get back round. Ellis, though, wants to open things up. Brilliant breakout from Harrow. It's a good pass from Black. DeRoy.
Shackles away.
Late line taken, and it's surprised Trinity. Switch of play again. Inventive play this from Harrow School. Counter-rucking is very smart, though, from Trinity. They've at best slowed it down. Maybe turned it. Maybe turned it.
Oh, well played there. Very good defence, but how about that break from Tuipulotu? It was all in the eyes in that step. That was he sold them the big one there, and it's worked well. But that is brilliant work on the deck from Trinity to be able to escape that, because they were under real pressure for a while there.
So, Trinity on the breakout here. Fakarady is just unable to pull it back. Well, that breakup took everyone by surprise, not least us up here, Angus. That was lively play from Trinity, just responding to that breakout to launch one of their own.
Thank you. Scrum call.
So it was Bellamy who started it. Just played it quickly.
15.
Fakarady sized up his man.
Knock on, guys. Scrum.
Beat the second.
Oh, I tell you, if that had gone to hand, that was try time. Bellamy was in. Trinity fly half is packed down at 8 here, with 8 defending the 10 channel. That's clearly a reaction to Ellis.
Well, Ellis is at 10 here. He's not going to get it off number 8 because Danny Neal does what he does. Hands out wide for Harrow. Space is opening up. Big hit from Bellamy. Came up into the line and executed great technique. The late line as well from Danny Neal. Quality in the lines of running from so many of the forward players on both teams has been right up there. Tuipulotu hit back and knock on. Promising, building, attacking play by Harrow has resulted in a scrum to Trinity.
It's a penalty.
And I assume Kennedy will be out in the back line for their own put-in, but I'm really impressed by that bit of inventive defensive play. Why put your fly half up against the big power runners, the number 8 and your centre, when you could stick the number 8 there? Very, very inventive bit of defending, particularly in under 15 rules on the scrummage. The ball can only go so far back at the scrum anyway, so very clever stuff.
Over there. Just a bloody nose.
Again though, Harrow just, it's a couple of times now they've had a chance to really get a sort of real bit of momentum in this game in the second half, and they've just either an error or a turnover has just cost them just as it's starting to build.
Good, thanks. Good phone.
So another one of our sponsors here today, the Seventh Heaven Rugby Sevens podcast. If you're into Rugby Sevens, well, this is a celestial one-stop shop for everything Rugby Sevens. It's hosted by one of our own, Joe Burns, and features Richard Di Carpentier and none other than Tommy Mitchell, the England Sevens captain. So do give it a follow if interested in that side of the game.
Good podcast, worth a listen. Get me on ahead of Rossland Park Sevens, Joe.
This is not the forum for a direct request, but we'll let you off, Angus Savage. You've performed admirably well so far.
Got to self-advertise where you can.
It's wonderful to have the company of Angus Savage. 15 Rugby, of course, alongside us. And Trinity tie things up again.
He was all part of it going round, it's fine.
Sort of body positions missing in action there slightly. It was a good old-fashioned mega hug from both players. It's going to be Harrow ball though.
He was connected all the way through.
A popular decision over on the far side.
Just there you are.
Reason why those body positions were like that was Harrow's doing. They managed to hold the ball up well.
Yeah, I think Harrow are very, very close to really starting to perform now. If they can, their power runners are starting to play quite well. If they can just get the phases together, so if they can get their hands into those power runners twice a set of phases, 3 times a set of phases, I think we're going to start seeing them make real ground.
Here goes Danny Neal again. Well, he has just got more and more aggressive as the match has worn on.
We didn't see a lot of that in the first half, did we? But we've seen it 3 times now in this second half, him going from the base of the scrum and absolutely tearing away. He's a really tough character to bring down.
Great shot again.
12.
Just how speedy this athletic back rower is.
Let's go, guys, please.
So, Trinity with the lead, with the line out. Almost entering the final 10 minutes of this quarter-final of the Schools Cup. Either Wellington or Ivy Bridge will be meeting the winner of this in the semi-finals. It's Trinity who just keeping themselves and their noses in front at the moment.
He was always falling.
But this match is there for the winning for both teams. You get a feeling it's going to come from a side winning it rather than a side throwing it away. Such has been the quality of the match so far. That's a run from Finn Smith.
Hold your run, boys, hold your run.
So,
Buckarady is up quickly.
No hands, guys, let it
On
come
number
wide.
13.
Good work.
Ollie Mile.
Tackle and move.
Harrow deep in their
Don't take it
22
too far.
and playing around with the ball. Some more of
Tackle and
a
move.
steady approach. Alex wants to play.
No hands now, guys.
Typical run from the captain. Harrow looking to follow their captain's lead. Sensible decision not to pass from Mile.
Good still.
But it's been turned on the floor, so Trinity maybe with a chance to attack Harrow, where their shoulders are a little bit weaker and not expecting it. It's the crossfield kick which is put in. It's one collected but dropped just on the left-hand wing. Well, that's
Ollie, give it! Come on!
excellent kick from Kennedy. Excuse me, from Bellamy. And collected, but then just
10.
given away at that point.
great awareness, isn't it?
It's Max Farrell did the chasing, couldn't just keep it in.
He's unlucky there. He's trying to organise his feet so that he doesn't go into touch, but just can't quite gather the ball and stop his feet all at the same time.
So we're entering the final 10, and what a final 10 minutes feels like we're in for. It's that 3-point lead for Trinity, and Harrow though, erring. Been a couple of line-out problems for Harrow at times today. Trinity looking to make the most of it. It's not gone far at all. Ellis will gobble it up. It's a good play from the inside centre. He has his ever-willing Danny Neal in support.
Good work, 14. Good work, 14.
Those two, the two try scorers for Harrow in this match.
Good
Big
tackle.
carry from Mile. Starting to get through a lot of work, the outside centre.
Tackle, release.
There are numbers on this left-hand side.
Tackle, release.
Trinity do well enough to close that initial foray down. Bit of disorganisation in Harrow's ranks in terms of their attack.
Release. Release. 5. Good work.
With 50 minutes in the legs in a quarter-final. That is understandable. Danny Neal that time knocked back. We've not seen that happen all that often. So too Cameron Ellis, the defence from Trinity.
Just let it come, guys. Let it come.
Few hands are an opportunity. Finn Smith steps the first. With the likes of Finn Smith on the pitch, you get an understanding of why this age group at Harrow were able to win the Roslyn Park Sevens last year.
Move, blue.
Have strike runners
Good work, one.
across the pitch, and going to find another one here. Tuipulotu. Now Ellis skips out of the first. Molyneux on his back. Good defence from Trinity. That's even better defence.
Oh.
And to double up afterwards, Gormley.
Do you want it?
Well, it's penalty to
That's
Harrow.
unlucky.
It is superb, aggressive and committed defence from Trinity.
Ollie, get Finley on the ball.
That's really, really unlucky. It's a correct decision, but it's really, really unlucky for the Trinity defence there. They've a couple of smashing hits, and one of them he's not deliberately driven him into the ground. He's almost hit him too hard, and the momentum has taken him shoulder first towards the ground. It's just, there's nothing you can do about that except go. They'll know that he's hit him there.
It's like the longer Harrow go on through those sets, Trinity just put in bigger hits until either we see something like that happens or they get the ball back.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You mentioned it there in commentary that the Harrow attack, just lost a bit of organisation. It took them 4 or 5 phases to find that organisation again, and by the time they found it, it allowed Trinity to get back into position.
But here are Harrow, 18 metres from Trinity's line. 6.5 minutes remaining.
Oh, not straight.
It's not straight, guys.
But giving possession back to the visitors, how important will that prove?
Scrum, guys, please.
Sorry, sir. How much time left, please? 6 minutes. Thank you kindly.
6.
Well, the question here for me is,
Just here, guys. On me, please.
do Trinity stick to the kind of principles that they've played so far, which is let's have a bit of a go, see if something's on, and then look to clear, or do they go, there's only 6 minutes, 7 minutes left, do we get the ball deep off this pitch and make someone wait to go and get another one, kill a bit of time?
We should say that our clock is not linked to the referees, just a guide. Could be a few minutes
Slow it
less than
down,
that.
guys, please. Number 8, please.
Look at the size of that Harrow crowd on the far side though. If ever there was a time to be a bit inspired as a Harrow under 15, it was right now.
A lot of older boys amongst the supporters, aren't there?
Set.
Willing these youngsters on. Undefeated Harrow, this age group together. So not an experience that they have had much of. That was mightily close to being a knock-on, but it's Joshua Bellamy who has had a super game, who has got them out of trouble, and Trinity have a penalty.
It's a classic case there of the sort of half error actually opens up the space because everyone thinks that the error is coming and pounces on it. And with his fast feet, he just escapes up to the halfway line, and then Harrow a bit too enthusiastic on the deck.
Josh Bellamy there, he is part of the Harlequins Academy, and you can see exactly why. One of his gifts is being looked at closely by Harlequins. Whole academy structure, really. It's not something that you're in until you're out of. You're in and out the whole time. There's lots of integration between school and academy, and then lots of the academy coaches coming to schools as well, not just to deliver coaching for the boys that they're interested in, but for the whole school team too. There's good positive relationships. Not a case of just taking boys out of school to improve them at all. It's very much built on at the school.
Yeah, it's very structured, particularly at the lower age groups, in terms of sort of whole team, whole school getting the development.
Well, that's a big moment. Really big moment for Harrow. They have snuffed out a possession and they've got it back in their hands.
Scrum, guys, not straight.
It's what I like to refer to as shoelace time. Get down.
You might have to explain that one.
Tie a shoelace. Just slow everything down. Take a bit of emotion out. You know, it doesn't matter if it's really undone or not. Who cares? Just anything. Just suck a bit of atmosphere away.
Keep the commission. Crouch.
Inviting position this, isn't it, for Harrow, because they have all of 40 metres to the left to play with, and maybe Danny Neal fancies the blind side. It does go open. It does go to Ellis, and Ellis sees a gap. 3, 4 Trinity players possibly having to haul him down.
Good work, 7.
Harrow have to strike again. Of course, a penalty would level up the match.
He's fine.
Ellis.
10 high.
Piled into by his teammates. It's advantage coming. Are they within kicking distance? That's the question.
Come on, the ball!
Trinity's defence for now holding. Black puts one in behind. It's well read and the mark taken.
10.
Offside though. So penalty here to Harrow with a chance to go for the posts.
Get the forwards out the way and you guys take control and get on the ball. Come on.
No, it's a number of tries. No, we can't. Let's go. It's number of tries, and you're equal.
About 3 minutes.
You reckon?
Well, it's really
Because he said 6 and I ran
well-informed play that we're seeing from Harrow. They know they have to score a try. They can't just level up the match with Trinity having scored first. And Ellis is going himself. What a run from the captain and inside centre.
Go the other way, Ollie. Go the other way. Go the other way.
Now the forwards go round the corner. A try would be enough with 2 minutes to play. Tui Polotu. Harrow so close, just 2 metres away. Trinity, the blue shirts gathering to try and stop this Harrow wave. Matthew Gaffney. Black is right on his knees just to get the ball back. Now Black goes, he has more forwards offering themselves and possibly over. This is the moment for Harrow to protect their unbeaten record as an age group, to try and get into the semi-finals of the Schools Cup. So close, that close. And they're going to have a scrum from 5 metres. Well, the drama here at Harrow School has just reached a new level. And we're far away from the support on the far side, but you can hear it sweeping across this pitch. Trinity somehow holding out.
Epic defence from Trinity. I don't know how they've kept that out, but that is fantastic stuff. You had Ellis on a short line on a phase before this, just brutal power. Somehow Trinity managed to hold him up before the line, and then they've held that up over the line for the 5 metre scrum. Brilliant. And of course we know what's coming.
Excuse me, Hanger, so we didn't have time to explain it really, but if they were to go for the posts, Harrow, and draw the match, it would mean that Trinity would go through as the school who scored first to the semi-finals. So that is why they chose to go tap and go. It was a very fine move, led by that man Cameron Ellis again. So possibly only a minute or less remaining. 60 minutes. Almost up in this under-15s quarter-final. Gabriel Black leads the scrum.
Just reset, guys. You can come towards me.
You have to think that Neil picks up from 8 here. Every scrum so far he's done it and he's made huge ground. Surely this is what he does now.
Thank you.
Yeah, Danny Neil at the base. What is running through his mind? Gabriel back, feeds the ball. It is to Danny Neil, and Pert Smith is up there, so Neil gives it on to Ellis. Much smarter defence from Trinity's back row on that occasion. It goes back to the near side where Tui Palotto is. Matthew Gaffney was there. It's good defence from Trinity. Players going low. Ellis is bumped, but he goes round the outside. 3 players beaten. Cameron Ellis gets the ball on. It's there for Harrow. It's on the floor for Trinity. It's going to be a penalty try. Harrow are delirious. Under the sticks, they get the 7 points. Hearts broken in Trinity's camp. Have Harrow defended their unbeaten record?
Go away. Please go away.
Well, what scenes here on the first team pitch at Harrow School? Angus Savage, can you make any sense of all that?
Wow. What I can say is we have a hell of an atmosphere here. I think there's a little debate. Did something happen? The ref's having a chat with the touch judges, but what we can say is that look at that running from Ellis. It's almost what you're taught not to do, running sideways, but he knows if he can get on the outside of the defence, he can just put his men away.
So the penalty try, as is given, is for that intervention where the Trinity player intercepted the pass but had no intention of being able to capture it. It is awarded. Harrow have won. Harrow have got through to the semi-finals of the Under-15 Schools Cup. They've defended their unbeaten record as an age group through Under-14, winning the Roslyn Park Sevens last year through this season. But they have been given the sternest test of their time at the school. And that is the reason why there is such relief around this ground.
Amazing scenes, unbelievable scenes here at Harrow. Huge pitch invasion, just in sheer joy. But one man you've got to pick out there amongst everything is the man that set up that penalty try, which is Ellis there, who broke away from things early and just went straight to the Trinity boys. He knows how tough that was for them. That is a heartbreaking defeat, but an absolutely stunning victory for Harrow.
I don't know where they're from.
Well, it's
I don't know whether they're...
joy for Harrow. First of all, congratulations to them. They're going to go through. They had to weather that early storm by Trinity, and they did that through Cameron Ellis, really leading them forward. But by the second half, it was a full team effort, wasn't it? And this try particularly, although of course featuring Cameron Ellis strongly with this run.
We've been speaking about the epic defence in the build-up to this, and then he's just, as in the first half, just taken it by the scruff of the neck and gone, I'm going around the outside.
To be honest, it's better to have people.
It's hit number 8, Roma Matabalavu. He has done some work to cover that ground, and didn't look like he knew all that much about it. Was he intentionally doing it? I guess when it's that situation, that kind of game, it doesn't really matter. The try would have been scored.
Yeah,
certainly.
I think it doesn't look like he knew all that much about it, but I think if you're the referee there, it's hard not to think that he's just done well to make it look like he didn't know that much about it. I think it'd be the try was certainly on if the ball had got outside. There were 3 men waiting to run that one home. I don't think there can be too many arguments about it, but he'll certainly feel as though there wasn't much more he could have done. He'd certainly put in the effort to be there. But really, once again, it's just all about Cameron Ellis's sheer determination to drag his side almost against the will of the sort of momentum of the game into winning this match and progressing to the semi-finals.
Well, they have protected and reinforced that unbeaten record with this victory. Our thoughts very much also with the Trinity team, who have played the most amazing game of rugby themselves.
I agree each time we got.
Starting with that 10-minute blitz at the beginning where they went 12 points up, and some of the most
Yes, indeed. Well,
stoic defence you could possibly see in a schoolboy game, and also some of the most clever and smart play and attack.
Oh, Trinity were brilliant. I don't think they should be looking at themselves at all harshly after this. They played absolutely fantastically. That opening sort of 10-15 minutes was just stunning rugby, the like of which any team at any age grade would have been quite happy with. They've done very, very little wrong. They've been outpowered twice, basically, and that's what's cost them the game. There's not a lot they can do about that at under 15 level. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes the opposition just have that little bit of extra power to you.
They are a excellent group of young rugby players. Really exciting to see what they may be doing in the 7th season coming up as well, Angus. But here we're just going to have a quick look at some of the tries and pick through them for us as well. And this starting at the beginning.
Yeah, at this stage we really thought, early try, almost power in the face of what seemed like overwhelming power from the Harrow side, but Trinity forced their way over, and you think here, well, actually they've got the measure of them up front. Perhaps that was a really impressive bit of work, and certainly put them on the front foot early on. And then this is just a try of absolute beauty.
Yeah, possibly the pick of them all, really. This pass from number fly half Finn Kennedy.
Just watch him. One step, pass gone. Doesn't even have to look.
We've got to credit the pickup because the pass isn't to hand, it's that good, and we're still saying it,
yeah.
Waxing lyrical about it. But the pickup from McCulloch, yeah, really good too.
And then this is, from here on in, it was just Ellis grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. Power's over for this one. And we saw him step in as a sort of first receiver, but also first ball carrier. Crash ball 10 almost, although he had 12 on his back.
This from Danny Neal. So powerful. He's so fast to get away from the covering defenders initially.
I think the big difference from first half to second half was the way that Neal stepped up off the base of the scrum. We didn't really see a lot of scrums, but we didn't see him picking up from the base early on. But through the second half, I think every scrum there was, he was the man that took it, and it was just unstoppable power from him off the base and great pace as well. And then just Cameron Ellis doing Cameron Ellis things. Penalty try given. You're probably feeling hard done by if you're Trinity, but if you're Harrow, you're probably going, well, hang on, we're scoring a certain try there, and I don't think the referee had much of a choice.
It's an interesting area though, because in the occasion, had the referee adjudged, he clearly adjudged that it was a deliberate knock-on. Had he adjudged that it was an undeliberate knock-on, but the same result had been affected, it would have been interesting to see what his thought process was there.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one. It's one where you need your law book down to a T, I think, because it's come off his shoulder, so it is a knock-on, but is it deliberate? I think ultimately there are no real complaints about that, I don't think, and I think for the way that Harrow for that last sort of 5 minutes put themselves right on the try line and kind of hammered away at Trinity, I think they probably feel as though even if they'd kept it in hand and knots crossed, they would have got through a few more phases and got themselves across the line. Look what it means to them as well.
It's as if a sudden game of rugby from the 1800s has been initiated. Amazing scenes. And, well, on those scenes, nothing can really get better than that. We can't add to those pictures too much more. So, you're watching our live stream and have been a lot. Thanks very much for joining us. It's been a thriller, hasn't it? Enjoyed having you along for the ride, and congratulations to Harrow. They will go through to the semi-finals and face either Ivybridge or Wellington at their place. But they've the Harrow effect at home has certainly helped here in a wonderful game. Harrow 19, Trinity 15.
Shot away, it's another
for goal.
Welcome back, everybody, pitchside. England have won this one 22 points to 6. There's a little bit of an arm wrestle at the start, but England ran away with it in the end.
Callum's looking for Godfrey. Callum got Godfrey. It's Stephen Godfrey. He's at the 5, the 4, the end zone. Stephen Godfrey.
Your 2018 champions, the London Monarchs. Winners of 2018.
Well done, boys. Let's give it up. Go on, lads. Welcome to the glorious sunshine of the LDN 7s, where we have got wall-to-wall rugby and one hell of a party coming at you all weekend.
Mate, the whole vibe here has changed from last year. It's got more of a massive festival theme now as well. Bigger, better, and rugby's really good as well.
So burgers, beers, goodbyes, plenty of top rugby, so get yourself down here to the LDN 7s 2019.
I tell you what, drinking pints and winning a tournament, what more could you want? Like pints, rugby winning, and just taking the people to the cleaners. I love it.